Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this, let's see, this is an Asus model FX506L. The full model number is FX506LI-BI5N5. Alright, so we're going to be using a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver to remove all the screws. The customer did open this up already, so hopefully the screws are still in the right order. They tried changing the RAM and then now it doesn't power on at all. Anyways, you want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do that is I put them flat side down like this on my desk. In the pattern I remove them. Alright, and usually I'll go by rows, so we'll remove the 4 up here, 3 here, and then 4 more down here. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, the screws are important that you do put them back in the same place because the different lengths can cause damage to the computer. It's very important. I don't know where the customer pulled each screw from, so I don't know if they messed it up. They put longer screws here. I don't know if they're supposed to be out here. So again, you want to be very careful with this kind of thing. Alright, so keep track of your screws. Again, I don't know if the customer mixed theirs up, so it's very important that you keep track of yours. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna get all these screws. So far he had those 2 middle ones were longer, but again, it could be in the wrong spots. Okay, then he has 2 really short screws on these outer corners and then slightly longer in the middle, but the ones in the middle are about the same length as the other screws that he had here, so hopefully that's correct. Okay, so this model, if I remember correctly, this screw won't actually come out. It has a little rivet that holds it in place, which allows you to pop open the computer from this side. Okay, so if you unscrew this, it should actually pop this up slightly. I like to use my fingernails to get under there and pull this up. You can use plastic pry tools. Let's see if this will work. Okay, so I'm going to slide my fingernail over this to the side here while I'm kind of pulling this up, and you can see it's popping out. Let's work our way over to the front. Same thing, just pulling over here while I slide my fingernail across. Okay, you can see it's popping out relatively easily. Excuse me. Okay, we're going to keep working our way over. Alright, just like that. And hopefully the back will pop out not too difficult. Alright, so we're going to kind of lift this. Oh, it's still caught a little bit over here. So I'm going to lift this and get my fingernail in there. Okay, let's see if we can wiggle this off. Alright. Okay, we might have to pop this out as well. Okay, so we're going to go along the back here, and just pull this up. Okay, and then going along this side, prying that out as well, it seems. Okay, oh, this popped back in. There we go. Okay, so now we got the bottom cover off like this. Okay, hopefully they didn't short anything out. The battery's right there. Oh, I have a feeling they might have shorted something. Let's go ahead and remove the battery here. Battery model number, if you're wondering, is there a model number here? Oh, that's a long model number, so I'll just show it up close to the camera and hopefully you can get that. Alright, B31N1726-1. I don't know what the 3ICP6-6180. So it's probably the B31N model. Alright. Oh, and if you're wondering, the thing is 4050 milliamp hours, 13.05 volts. Alright, so I'm going to pull the battery out using a PH1 or JIS1 screwdriver. So I'll take that screw out. Alright, and this screw out. Okay, hopefully there's like a BIOS or CMOS battery. Then we're going to wiggle this connector to pull it loose. Okay, so there we go. We got the battery out. Looks like that. Okay, let's take a closer look inside at the rest. There's 1 stick of RAM here, but again, the customer did work on it, so I don't know if this is the original. We're going to pull these 2 tabs to the side. Pops up like that. Can pull this out, and there's no RAM information on here. This is DDR4 RAM or PC4 RAM, but I don't know the speed of it, so I don't know. Hopefully it will support all the types of RAM. Okay, I'm just wiping off the connector. Some people don't like that I do that, but I've never had issues with it, even after several years of customers having a computer I worked on that I did that, and I have had that actually fix issues. So all right. Okay, you got the keyboard connector here. These have little flip latches. You can flip that up and then pull it back. I'm not going to disconnect things I don't need to. You got the trackpad, touchpad connector here. You got this connector for this USB board. I think I worked on one of these before. You got this speaker here. The wire runs along to the other speaker underneath this metal plate and plugs in up here. Okay, this is the keyboard backlight connector most likely. Fan connector here, fan connector here. You got the LCD LVDS connector underneath here. If you're going to mess with this, make sure to disconnect the battery and then press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds with the screen open to drain any residual power. You have the DC jack or charge port connector here, which you can remove, but you will have to take out the hinge screws and lift this hinge up. Man, get out of my throat. So if you want to remove this, the trick is you open the screen slightly, and then once you've done that, so maybe about that much, then you undo the screw, and then when you lower this down, the hinge will stay slightly up. You can get underneath and flip it up easily, and then you can pull that out. CPU and GPU are soldered to the motherboard. They put a little warning sticker here. Okay, and then you got a M.2. I'm not going to take it out because they put some tape. I'm sure it's a PCIe NVMe SSD. Just like every other model, there's one screw. It'll come up at an angle, and then you can pull it out, basically like the RAM. Okay, so I don't see much else in here. I don't know if there's a separate BIOS battery. There's also, I forgot to mention, this little cable up here. I believe that's for the actual power button. So let me lift this up. Actually, I don't know if that's the power button because the power button's in this corner. Interesting. Huh. They got some... I think the customer, when they opened it, broke some stuff off. Okay, so... the power button is here. I don't see a wire going to it, so... I don't know if that's part of the keyboard or what. I don't see any cables running along from under there. Anyways, I'm holding the power button for about 15 seconds. Oh, I see. So this wire is for the little LED lights that are up here on the top of the keyboard behind the screen or under the screen. But yeah, I don't see where the power button goes in. It might be part of the keyboard actually. So I don't know what happened, but their computer doesn't power up at all anymore. They told me all they did was change the RAM, so maybe they shorted something on the motherboard. Okay, I'm going to try cleaning this out a little bit. I don't really see much I can do with this inside to fix the power issue. There's no BIOS battery that I can see. There might be one underneath the motherboard. But this motherboard is really thin, so, or the space underneath is really thin, so I don't know if they can actually fit one there. Hopefully they're just using the regular battery as the motherboard battery. I'm going to attempt to plug this in while the battery is disconnected to see if there's any change, so let's go ahead and do that. Alright, let me get a better view here in the center. Alright, that can be a thumbnail. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this laptop in and see if we got anything. Alright, so I'm going to pull this back. I'm going to get the charger. Okay, and let's go ahead and plug this in and see if there's any lights on the notification bars or anything like that. Okay, so plug this in. Nothing is here, so sadly this laptop is toast most likely. I think they fried the motherboard. Oh, here's the actual model information. Asus TUF Gaming F15. Alright. Okay, so I don't see a BIOS battery or anything in here that I can reset. Let's see if I peel this up. Sometimes they hide BIOS batteries under here, so I'll actually take the SSD out just to see. Alright, there's one screw as I mentioned. Oh, okay, so this sleeve just comes off the SSD. The SSD is right here, and they hide the wireless card under here, but there's no BIOS or CMOS battery, so sadly it looks like this thing is toast. Yeah, nobody wants to hear that, but especially on a gaming laptop, but not, I don't know, I wouldn't be able to. I likely won't be able to repair it. I can check if my partner can find what's wrong with it, but yeah, I'll see what the customer wants to do. So anyways, let's go ahead and put this thing back together. Again, I don't see a BIOS or CMOS battery anywhere in here. If anyone knows, let me know. Maybe I'll check a I like to check for the motherboard. Oh, here we go. Oh, I didn't even notice. There's a second PCIe SSD slot here, so if you wanted to add another M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD, you can. And then you got the motherboard model number here, DABKXDMB8EO, revision E. So I'll look that up later to see if the other side of the motherboard, sometimes I can find pictures of the motherboard online, and I might be able to find a picture of the back side. Alright, anyways, let's put the thing back together. Excuse me. Alright, what did I just... Oh. Okay, so let's plug the battery back in. Hopefully they didn't do anything weird trying to plug the battery in upside down or anything. But let's go ahead and pinch the connector back in to get that in place. Okay. Actually, let me see if they bent the pins. I didn't take a close look in there. Sometimes I've had customers bend battery pins. The battery pins look fine. Maybe they dropped something metal in here. Okay, so I'm not sure what caused it to be dead. Since I didn't see how they were working on it, I don't know. Again, the screw sizes can be pretty important, so you want to make sure you put the right screws in the right place. I don't know if one of the longer screws, if they're not supposed to be here, could have damaged something underneath. That's also a possibility, but I'm not sure because I'm not sure if the screws are supposed to be longer there or not. So yeah, it's hard to know when another person worked on it, like where the original placement of everything should be if they mixed everything around. So yeah. Oh, one other thing, this metal thing here is actually a hard drive caddy for a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive, and it can plug in. There's supposed to be a cable for a SATA connector that plugs into this where this latch flips up. But yeah, I don't really see much else. There's like a little dust in here, but let's get that dust out actually. Okay, and we're just gonna put this thing back together now. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the... more dust is coming out. Okay, the other thing is they might have hit this cover on this piece back here and damaged it. Doesn't look damaged or anything, but that's also a possibility that could have caused it to not turn on. Alright, anyways, let's get this all back together. Just line it up. Okay, then we just click everything back into place. Doesn't seem to be anything tricky about this. I'll probably try with my charger later just to check for them. I don't have this powerful of a charger, but we'll try. Hopefully mine is, I'll double check. I think the voltage is probably the same, 20 volts. So we'll test that and see if maybe their charger is having some problem, but I doubt it. Usually changing the RAM shouldn't be anything unless they had some weird coincidence. Alright, so that's pretty much it. We're just going to put back all the screws. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. You're welcome to stay as I get the remaining screws into place. Yeah. Alright. So, one other thing, I don't know why they create these model numbers here when the model number's like TUF Gaming something. It's kind of weird and it throws people off. So, yeah, I don't know. If somebody can explain that, that's kind of weird. It's like they have an ID and then they have a serial number separately, and then they also have a model number separately, so it's kind of weird. But alright, we got this all back together, and again, it doesn't power up. I don't know what happened, what they did. Maybe they dropped something metal on it, but yeah. I'll try plugging it in one more time just to see if there's any change. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. Alright, thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. Strap this. Bye.